Hello guys, you may know me from my blog or from my previous video about testing Laravel. It's been a long time since I recorded that video, and now I'm back, so we're going to continue this series. In the previous lesson we wrote some dumb tests just to make sure something is in the database, but right now we're not going to do it. We're going to test our controllers. So we are building an API to a mobile app, so we need controllers, and we are also going to write tests for them. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm not this was strange I'm going to do is to create my controller. It's going to be called API slash books controller. Okay, so I have my controller here. As we're going to be creating RESTful APIs, I'm going to delete this and create this with the resource flag. So now I have all the methods Laravel gives me. Okay, and we are also going to write a test for this. So for this controller, so we're going to write make test, and let's give the real path. I mean the actual path. Some people like to do this way, keep the same path both in the test directory as in the app directory. So we're going to call this app to be controllers API and books controller test. And okay, I can see it right here. Okay, and as we talked previously, we're going to use database transaction migration, sorry, and use without middleware. Okay, I'm going to delete this. And what's the first test we're going to write? Okay, so we need to write a test for the index method. So let's say test index method returns all books, something like that. And okay, I'm just going to save this. Let's create our routes. I really hope you're not listening to any background noise. Let me do a test. Okay, now I think it's better. It was my AC. And let's create our API routes. So we're going to create a route group called prefix API, and I think that's okay. And of course middleware API, and let's pass our closure. And right now we can create a route. So books controller, so we don't have to keep repeating the namespace. Let's pass the namespace here too. So it's API, and if we take a look, route list, unexpected equals, oops, right here. And okay, here are our routes. Now we're going to test them. So let's think a little bit. What do we need to test in the index method? We just need to make sure the JSON we receive is okay. So here we were just creating some dumb user, some a book, and then testing stuff. So let's just create a user like this. Okay, app user class, create, and we're going to create some books. So let's say book 1 equals user books, create, and it needs a name and a price. So let's go with name. um I don't know, Titanic, and price 10. Okay, and book 2 equals user books create, let's say name Star Wars Lost Stars. Okay, price equals, let's say 20, and we created our books. Now we need to actually test the controller. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a request to our index method. Route is a helper, so we can put the route name right here, and it will return a string with the path. So here's our name, API books show, no, sorry, index. And after we make this request, let's just make sure the response is okay. Oh, sorry, we can status code equals 20, or is it C status code? I don't remember now. I think it's assert status code, I'm not sure. And then we can loop through the books. Let's make this a better thing. Let's create a factory. So factory define app book class function faker generator faker. Okay, and name, let's say fake name. Okay, and price, let's say between 1 through 20. Okay, something's wrong. Okay, right here. And let's create these books with it. So let's say something like books equals factory app book class, and let's create 2 of them. So sorry, just going to say the user ID equals the user we created ID, and here I'm going to create 2 of them. So how can we make sure that the response is okay? We can just loop through them. So for 8 books, 8 book, we want to see this JSON. So we want to see name equals book name, and price equals book price. So we're basically looping through the books, and we're telling that we want to see some information. We want to assert the JSON has the following name and the following price. So in our controller, let's just return something dumb here, like hello, and let's see what happens. PHP unit. It's not status code. I think it's C status code. I wasn't sure. Sometimes you forget this stuff. Instead, let's return a array. And okay. It was invalid because it wasn't JSON at all. So we can see that our tests are failing. We're not seeing Catherine Boyle through at all. So it's not working. How can we fix this? Well, we must return all books. So books, book all, return books. It's still failing. Why? If you take a look, you may notice we want an integer and we are receiving a string. That's because all of our database data are returned as strings, so we must fix this. I'm going to cover this in the next lesson, so for now, let's just cast this to a string and let's see what happens. And okay, our tests are passing, so we need to test other methods like I don't know, test show method returns a particular book, something like this. So we can say our user is this, and we want to create a book class, create, say the user ID is our user's ID. Okay, and what we want to do is make a GET request to our show route like this with an ID of the book. Then we wanna see status code 200. Let me just explain something. This method actually accepts two arguments. The first one is the name of the route, and the second one is the route parameters. So we want to send our ID, so it's going to be like API books 1. 1 is the ID of the book. Okay, we want to see a status code of 200, means okay, and then we want to see the following JSON: name equals name and price equals book price. Let's just cast this to string, and if we just return something like, I don't know, full and bar, this test is going to fail. So let me show you this. It's failing. We're not finding what we want. So let's make this test pass. We're going to say the book is book find ID, and we're going to return it. And it's okay. You may notice there are some problems with this approach. First of all, we are returning the book's ID and created that stuff, so this is not safe. Let me show you something. I'm going to start a server. Okay, let me just, I'm not sure there's something in the database. Let me see. Okay, there's not. Let me just generate some stuff. So user factory at user class. Even better, let me show you something. Let's create some books. So factory app book class. We want to generate 10 books. So create, and the user ID is going to be factory app user class create ID. We can change this. So yeah, okay. Let us see. If we go to API/books, you may notice we are returning the ID of the book, the user ID, when it was created, and stuff like that. This is not good for most apps. We don't want to return all of this. So how can we solve this? There are many approaches. We can, I don't know, look through all of them and generate a new array with the new data, or we can just specify what fields do we want. So we can say ID, sorry, name, price. And if we try to see a particular book, it just has the name and its price. But there are far better options than this. Okay, I'm going to show you all of this next video, so stay tuned. You may find me through my GitHub or through my blog or through email, I don't know, it's up to you. So in the next video we're going to cover how to actually return data the way we want. We're going to use transformers. This is very important when building APIs, and it's also really simple. So I'm going to show you all of this next lesson. Thanks everyone, so bye.